Okay, good. So I just won't tilt it down. Yo, what is up, guys? It's your girl, Haley here, back with the live stream. I don't know why they keep cutting out, but they are. Mom, do you want to say anything?
Hi, today is
National Wishbone Day.
National Wishbone Day, and it's a day to spread awareness for our condition called OI. Now, what happens is our bones break for little reason.
Like, there could be...
We could just be sitting here, move. I've broken a shoulder putting on my nightgown.
I've broken my wrist just putting on t-shirts.
So, what our condition is we have brittle bones that break, and it's a genetic disorder.
So
it's not something you
can't
catch.
So if I sneeze on you, you cannot catch OI.
And basically what it does is we have COL1A, COL1A1. Sorry, can't get it out today. That is the collagen that we're missing. And the collagen is not like the collagen that you can find in skin repairs or anything like that you can find over the counter that will fix it. We take medications by IV. Some people take it by a pill, depending on how brittle they are.
Yeah, like my sister and my brother used to take a pill, but now my sister's...
Sabine actually ended up being allergic to the medication, so she can no longer take it, unfortunately. But Haley and I take Reclast, and...
yeah, it's nice not sitting there for 4 hours. It's nice sitting there only for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So we started out with Permidronate at one point in time. So Wishbone Day is not about money. It's about raising awareness. So that's why you wear yellow for Wishbone Day.
And another thing, also on this channel, you can literally go to my YouTube channel. I actually have it right here, so I can just pull it up. It is called My Condition. It basically breaks down what type I have, like things like that. So it's called My Bone Condition, or you can also go on my channel, and there's a video on it called My Life, which basically explains from the time I was born till I think it was like 20. Yeah, I want to say I was about to be 20 at that point when I filmed it. But
okay, so myself and my oldest daughter and my son and my granddaughter are all type 1. So we're considered mild as far as the condition goes. But there are different severities even within the same type. So Sabine and I are type 1 severe, and Ainsley's type 1 severe, but James is type 1 mild. So we're called snowflakes because not every OI person is the same, even within the same type.
Exactly.
Like I have a friend that's only had 6 breaks, and she's type 1. I've had over 200 breaks, and I'm a type 1.
Yeah, and the cool thing about...
So you can't compare one OIer to another. Yeah. Another OIer might be able to do something that another OIer can't.
That's kind of like another thing is because of this condition, you know, we have more... I wouldn't want to say we have like... Well, we do have limitations, but when you're, you know, younger and everyone's like, oh, well, I'm going to go ride my skateboard. We're like, you know, that's a hospital visit waiting to happen. I'm good. You go ride your skateboard by yourself. But I think another thing that people don't realize is we're just like everyone else, but we just do things differently. I just sound like Amy Roloff right there. But we really do have to do things differently. You know, I can't just go grab a bag of chips and stand up on a chair and think, oh, that's going to be great. But I think another thing is when we have breaks and injuries, I think we just kind of have to kind of lay it low at that point. Like this virus that's going around, everyone's like, oh, aren't you bored of being home? No.
This is what we're used to.
This is what we're used to. So everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so bored in isolation. I don't know what I'm gonna do." I'm like, "Cool, I have freaking."
We could be stuck in bed for 6 months at a time. Like I have a huge scar for one of my surgeries. It goes from the top of my hip all the way to my knee, and I
Yeah.
had to be in bed for 6 months. So being laying low and being stuck inside is normal for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think another thing is, as you guys know, I had surgery 9 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago.
Hmm.
I don't know. I forgot how many weeks ago, but
I know, February 26th.
yeah, I had surgery February 26th, which you guys know that. Sadly, unfortunately, I may have to go back in. I mentioned that in one of my live streams recently. Everyone was asking, how is like your pain? How's injury? It's still painful. I'm now, I think I'm more relying on you guys more than ever.
Yeah, and we have chronic pain to begin with.
Yeah, so.
As a kid, I had chronic pain also, and I had breaks. A lot of them went undetected, and I actually walked around my childhood with both of my sockets out of my hip sockets out, and they said that's something that happened as a child, but because I wasn't believed, I had to walk around like that. So I had 8 surgeries to fix that.
Hmm.
So
I think that was the hard thing, though, like with our family believing us at times. I'm not
another
saying like my mom never believed us. Obviously, she believed us, but like certain family members would be like, "Oh, they're faking it. They just want
Yeah,
attention."
and a lot of times people think we're faking it because one day we can have a really good day
Hmm.
and we'd be, doing okay, and then the next day we can't get out of bed from our
Exactly.
condition because the pain is just so bad.
Yeah, like the other day, Brooke had to
So
help me just sit
to
up.
a person on the outside, they're like, "Oh, they're moving around, they're walking, and then now you're not. What's wrong?" It can't
Hmm.
be true, but it really is true, and that's
Hmm.
how our condition unfortunately works.
And I think another thing that people don't also understand is, I know, like I may, I know I don't look fine to everybody, but you
Type
know,
ones look
type
fine.
ones look
Haley, she
fine.
is not that Haley doesn't look fine. What she's trying to word it as, she's a
I didn't know
LP.
how to like word it.
She's an LP or a dwarf, and with her type. So you can tell, she's way shorter. She's the same height as her 4-year-old niece. So,
Unfortunately.
so people can tell, what, there's something off. But type ones and type fours, we look perfectly fine to
I love the
people.
I love the people at the grocery store that will like come up to my mom and my dad and be like, "Why are you parking there?
Yeah, you're not
You're
handicapped.
not handicapped." And then my dad will go open up the back door and
Pull
pull
out
pull
my
the lift out,
walker.
or pull the lift out to get me out.
Yeah,
And
or my walker to get out, or
yeah, because of mom's type, unfortunately, because she has all these fractures that never got detected as a child, she needs a walker more than ever. And I think I am so thankful that I got blessed with the parents I did. Because the minute I say, "Mom, something hurts," she's like, "All right, well, let's look what happened." And I have to say, when I broke my arm, and my mom knew, like, this arm's never been perfect.
hardware tends to back out. She's had rods that backed out. She said I have screws taken out.
Yeah, I had a couple screws loose.
She's got a few screws loose there.
There's a few up here, too. But I think another thing that my parents don't ever second guess is, yeah, I'll say, "Dad, like, I'm in pain," and I'll be like, "Okay, you know what? It's probably one of your bad pain days." But when I say, "Dad, I can't hold my phone," if I can't hold this in my hand, my dad's like, "All right, you know what? You got that children's hospital app? Can you message Dr. Spencer, see what we do?" And the way how I injured my arm was, if you all remember, I kind of touched on it a couple times in other videos, is I had surgery on my femur in September, and just rolling me to get me off of my femur so they could fix it, they ended up rolling me on my arm. So to basically get injured while having surgery, there's always that possibility. We knew going into the surgeries, we could need more surgeries. There could be injuries with it. So whenever I have to have a surgery, I talk to my mom and dad about it. I'm like, I don't know if I should do it or not. And they're usually like, well, you want to be in pain or you want to be out of pain? But we usually try to, like, my parents help me see, like, why I'm doing the operation, not I'm just doing it because I want to, be in, because I want to have surgery.
Yeah, so another thing that parents have to deal with OI is that other parents don't deal with is that, you could break your child picking them up. Like Haley had breaks at birth, and we had to carry her on a pillow when she was first born for safety to support her from the breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think what I had 17 at birth.
They could break their leg just changing their diaper, and it's no fault of the parent or anybody's fault. It's just what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think I've even broken getting out of the van, and my dad's like, okay, well, I guess get back up in the van. We're going up to Boston. But there's times when I don't think I could have done anything without my mom and dad. With even my brother, even. There's times when I'll go to my brother and I'll be like, James, something's like wrong. And he'll be like, okay, let's go talk to mom and like, let's see what we can do. But
yeah, so other signs of osteogenesis imperfecta, or symptoms you may want to call them, is there's GI issues, there's hearing loss, there's pulmonary issues.
Which I have pulmonary and hearing loss.
I have COPD caused by the OI.
I think, is my asthma caused by it too?
Yeah, so so we keep a box of first aid stuff and we keep some of our old casts.
Like my
for splints to get us to and from the hospitals.
And a lot of the time that I don't think people really understand is my parents aren't being overprotective. They're trying to, because everyone's like, oh, because I've gotten messages on, my social medias and stuff, and they're like, oh, your parents are overprotective. No, they're not. They're, if anything, I think my parents are like, go ahead, do it. We have a family motto. If you're going to break, have fun doing it.
That's right.
We've always said it since we were little kids. Yes, we've had limitations, but I think a great thing that my dad said in the documentary that we have, it's what did Daddy say? Oh, if they're gonna break either way, and their limitations will be shown. But let us have fun while we're doing it.
Yeah.
There's been times when
James went on a whitewater rafting trip with Boy Scouts, and people are like, you're letting him do that? Well, yeah. But the funniest thing is, he didn't break doing the whitewater rafting.
He broke playing frisbee.
In the campsite with the Boy Scouts. So,
and you know what? And I think some of, and everyone's like, oh, don't you wish you could play sports? Guess what? Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts were our sports.
Yeah.
If anything, I think we all excelled at Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Yeah, Haley's a Gold Award and Silver Award recipient for Girl Scouts, and James is an Eagle Scout. And now he's participating in Knights of Columbus, and he's a district warden for Knights of Columbus.
Exactly. When we both aged out of our scouting stuff, we wanted to keep kind of, because, when we got told, like, okay, after you make your Gold Award, bye. And I also didn't make my Gold Award. Like, I also made my Gold Award really early, too. I could have stayed in for another 2 years. But after I made my Gold Award, I was like, what's the point of staying in if I already have
the highest
award you can do? But I mean, between everything, I think doing Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, we do stuff in our church.
Yeah, they did 4-H.
We
They
do.
were in a homeschool cooperative group.
Hmm.
They
We graduated from the
Sabine got the Pope
groups.
Pius X award.
I did multiple Catholic awards through Girl
Girl
Scouts.
Scouts, and James did Catholic awards for Boy Scouts.
Hmm.
Haley now received her business course certificate,
Yep, through Santa Clara University.
and she has received 2 photography certificates.
So
She's working to her dream for that.
let me basically explain.
But that's a hobby for her.
Let me basically explain how everything is with my photography and things like that. It'll never be a business. I can tell you that right now. It's never going to be a business. Because of all my injuries, I don't think I could ever handle running something like that. But it's one of my favorite things is do photography and capture the beautiful moments and stuff like that.
She does photography for the church that we go to.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes if a family member wants to get like a photo done, but photography is outrageous amounts of money. So they know I do photography and they're like, hey, you wanna, do this for us? So I'll do like for Christmas last year, I did we always do a big Christmas party. So I got to do the big Christmas family photo. So that was kind of cool to get to do that and just spend time with my family. I like capturing the moments in it. But another thing that I want to answer some of the questions that we have.
Sure.
Okay. So one of the questions is, why is my phone not working? Okay. One of the questions that I remember off the top of my head, how long did it take you to realize that you had like kids with like disabilities? Obviously, you knew we had the OI and stuff.
Well, I wasn't diagnosed till I was 25, and but I was pregnant with Haley, and at 7 months she had breaks in utero, and then she was born with 16 additional. So they
So I was up to 17 at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, and I thought it was only 15, and then it had 16 when it was born.
No, and then they had tested her and I in the hospital, and I came back tested as having it. And then my oldest had dislocated hips at birth, but it took a long time for them to discover that because the pediatrician we had at the time, Sabine, would kept crying and like not just crying but screaming, and I kept calling the pediatrician, you need to see her. She kept telling me I was a nervous first time mother, she's fine. And then she had seen an on-call doctor because she had an ear infection. It was after hours, and that's when the doctor discovered that um, she had 2 dislocated hips, and then she had to wear a brace for the first year of her life after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Sabine was 6 months old and 6 years old, sorry, and they discovered that my husband and I were eating dinner. We noticed that the whites of her eyes were really blue, and now we had the symptoms of OA, so we knew what to look for. And then we took them to a geneticist at the hospital, and they had said that they both had it, but there was no point in testing them because we already have the family history and they have all the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ainsley was born and her eyes were really blue at birth. And all babies' eyes are blue, but then they go away for a while. Hers never did. So then
she had her first break. I think she was like 6 months old.
Yeah. And they had said the same thing, that Dr. Spencer said there's no point in putting her through the test because obviously she has all the signs and symptoms of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we found out.
And then another thing that I think, plus we also got asked, how did you handle schooling?
So they were in public school for a little while.
Well, I stopped going at second grade.
Yeah. So they had a track and field day, and Haley was shoved down by a bully, and her 1-to-1 aide had walked away from her. She had a service dog at the time, and the service dog was not allowed to go to school because they said she had the 1-to-1 aide, so there's no point in her having the service dog at school. So, but that aide walked away from her, and obviously she got hurt, and we had to wait 36 hours for an operating table. But before that, they had, on that day, they hadn't sent her to
The nurse
any help or anything. The nurse had left her in her wheelchair from 9:30 in the morning until school got out.
I think it was like 3:30 when I got home because I was always the last stop.
And they had, so my husband and I had looked into a few things because we were already looking into it because the PT are also there after having notes at school saying not to put her in PT during breaks. They still did.
And they ended up fracturing me more.
So at this point, my husband and I were looking into other options. What can we do except for public school? And that's when we found Pilgrim's Progress, and we did schooling there.
Mm-hmm. I was the first to go, but the last to leave.
Yeah. So, and then the other two, James was in 6th grade, and we wanted him to get, even with 6 doctored notes, they wouldn't allow him to leave classes early. And they said, well, he didn't need it going into junior high because he didn't have it before, where you don't change classes in elementary school. So that's why it's different. And they wanted their doctor to look at him. And I said, well, has the doctor ever heard of OI? Because it's so rare. Only around 20,000 cases are recognized so far in the United States. So they had, so I said to them, you know what, then he's going to come home. But before that, Sabine had already had issues in the junior high where they were breaking her all the time at school. Not physically breaking her, and like them physically hurting her, but because they wouldn't allow her to leave classes a few minutes early,
she was getting shoved down the stairs.
Getting shoved down the stairs, not by kids being mean. It's just they're trying to hurry up and get to their class. So at one point in time, she had broken arms on both sides of her. So at the same time,
and she also broke her foot too.
So I said, you know what, enough is enough, and we brought them home.
But okay, the next question is, how was it getting us all ready for like a day-to-day life? Like, how was our day life?
Well, like when you were in school, you got up, you went to school, you did your schoolwork.
It was not like schooling part. They mean like day in a life. Like, how was our medical?
Oh, well, we all had lots of appointments several times a week. We were at the hospital.
Oh my God, I felt like we were there more than we were home.
Right, for appointments.
Well, the hard thing was because we were all...
And the thing was, sometimes they didn't get to... We tried to schedule them all together so it would be easy. But it didn't always happen that way. So that's why we were at the hospital so much during the week.
And another thing I think that people don't really understand, that I think, you know, when you're younger and you can do stupid things. I can say I've done a lot of stupid things injury-wise. But I think, you know, trying to do everything. And when you're about 8, 9 years old and you're like, all right, get in the car again. And you're like, I don't want to go in the car. Now we have to go back to the car. Okay, fine. But at the same time, we had 15 specialists when we were younger. You know, at least now, you know, it kind of dialed down. But at one time, we had a geneticist. We still have our geneticist, but we had orthopedics. We had multiple orthopedics for, 3 of us?
Well, it depends on what body part you broke, what orthopedic you see.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So it's not that each one of you had a different orthopedic. It was, you know,
Sabine also
broke his leg, but you broke your arm, or
Yeah.
Sabine broke her back. So it just have different They
But
have you
there
see different specialists for different parts.
but there is also three amazing all of the doctors are amazing up at Children's. But I think there's three that always stand out to me because, they've done the most. And that is Dr. Hedquist. Thank you so much for trying to help with my spine. And when I dislocated my knee, he was the first one to figure it out. Because we went to four different, what are they? They're not orthopedics. What are they? Nurse practitioners?
Yes.
So we went to four different nurse practitioners within like 3 weeks. And they're like, no, your knee's fine, your knee's fine, your knee's fine. And then I was like, Mom, it's getting worse. Like, I'm just collapsing now. So we called up Children's Hospital and they're like, well, Dr. Hedquist is on. And I'm like, book me an appointment with him. And they're like, okay. So I saw him, literally, he looked at my knee twice. He's like, your knee's dislocated. You're about to hate me. And went, popped it back in. And he goes, oh, it popped out again. I'm like, no, I don't want you to do it again. But I do absolutely love him for all that he's done. He has done amazing things for our family with injuries and things like that. It's done amazing with like all of our injuries and things like that. So that's really cool. And another one is Dr. Kim. We had him for years. I think we stopped having him when I was like 13.
Yeah.
And then we got Dr.
He had
Spencer.
cancer for a while.
Yeah. And Dr. Hedquist was the whole entire family's doctor. It wasn't just.
Yeah, so was Dr. Spencer. Like I said, Hedquist was different parts and Spencer was different parts.
Yeah, Dr. Spencer is your lower
I aged out, so now I have Erin Dewicki, and she is awesome.
And she
started at Children's.
Yeah, and
she left, and then I was so grateful to find her again.
Yeah, the funny thing is when we were younger, she worked under Dr. Kim. So if we had an injury, she'd be like, okay, you know what, I'll see you. Let's get you guys in. Let's get you guys looked at. And there's a lot of amazing cast techs up at Children's as well. There's Ovi, there's Dave, Kyle's not there anymore. Kyle, Jen, those.
And I have Donner at Erin's office that I love.
And Billy, I absolutely love you very much, even though some days you make me want to slap you. But I love you. But here's the thing about Billy is if because of my size, I'm in between sizes for boots, for air cast boots, splints, like.
So he'll customize something.
So he's come up with these crazy customizations that actually work for me. And the funny thing is, Dr. Spencer has actually used like, okay, well, there's another child that's like that. Billy, can you do it? But I absolutely love that I have the amazing cast techs and everyone up at Children's, and including Dr. Spencer. She's done from surgery 20 to 29, which the mom's up to what? You're up to 27?
28 surgeries.
Mom's up to 28. I'm up to 29. I'm probably going to be up to 30.
I'm going to have every couple of years I have to have a surgery because my bladder failed and I have a bladder pacemaker and they have to replace the battery every couple of years on that. And the way that works, just like the heart one, it squeezes and the heart one pumps the blood. Well, this one pumps out my urine. I know it sounds gross and TMI, but
yeah. But you also have a back stimulator too. That
I have a dorsal column stimulator.
That's what it's called.
It attaches to my spinal cord and it sends mixed messages to my brain on purpose. So what it does is it tells my brain that I don't have back pain when I really do, and
makes you be able to like stand up.
So because it's my lower back that I have a problem with, it tends to make my legs not work sometimes.
Yeah.
So without that, this I can't even like stand up and walk. So that's a very blessing that I have that, and you know, thank God for Dr. Lucky that
Mhm.
that tried that option with me, and but again, that's going to have to have batteries replaced every couple years.
Mhm.
In 2017, I had that put in, and then I had my battery replaced, and then I had a knee surgery, and I had the back surgery had to be done in two places, and you're awake for that because they're working on your spinal cord. They need to know if they're messing anything up in your spine cord. So,
Mhm. Yeah, and I think
so
I've had 29 surgeries. Some of them there was like I think there's like one that isn't bone related, which would be my appendix. So basically, most of my surgeries are bone related, except for one. That was the only one that was not bone related. But a lot of them are. I've had rods replaced. I've had rods slot into my knee, my
that is supposed to be in her
they're supposed
femur
to be in my femur.
or thigh bone.
Yeah, which those are supposed to be in my femur. I've had them slide into my ankle, which is supposed to be in your shin bone, which is called your tibia. Yeah, and then I've had screws.
Yep.
Did I have screws on this one?
You have a plate in
I have
your
a plate
humerus, both
screw.
humerus.
No, I don't have a plate in this one anymore.
Oh, that's right. They took that one out.
Yeah.
But you had a plate. You have a plate in this humerus. You have one in your shin,
I have
which
two in
is
my
also
shins.
called her
Tibia.
tibias.
I have two on both of them.
Yep, and you have
Or
ones in your
femurs.
femurs.
But the funny thing about the plates, and actually, me and my friend Michael, who has the exact same condition as us, actually, he is the exact same type that I have, which I am a combination of two. I'm a type 2-3, which is weird because some of my stuff says I'm a 2 and some of my stuff says I'm a 3. I don't know. But we have the exact same type, and the way how we met was he was having his leg fixed, and so wasn't I, and we started talking, and I had one of my shirts on that represent our condition, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool, I'm Brickle Spirit. That's funny, I have a bracelet that says that." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And he's like, "My name's Michael, and I have OI." I'm like, "So don't I." And like, I think you and Michelle have become friends because of
Mm.
the condition. They can kind of bounce it. The funny thing is, talking about like conditions and stuff, and we kind of understand each other a lot, which is awesome.
Yeah, so when Haley was born, I couldn't even pronounce this condition, as I was newly diagnosed.
Mhm.
So, also, so I found the foundation for OI.
Well, Auntie Lulu. Well, Auntie
Well,
Laurie
Auntie
found it.
Laurie did,
I just
and
said Auntie Lulu. That's
I
what.
called them up, and they had found there was no support group. So then we started the support group in
And the funny
Massachusetts.
name. Tell me how we came up with the name.
Well, my husband was eating Chinese food one day.
Shocker.
And it was so he came out with MSGOA. So we had then they had a directory
Mhm.
at the foundation, and we had
I don't even remember how many members we had. I know we had a lot.
there was too many when we first started. I think we started out with like 10, and then we went to 80, and
No.
now there's 400 people in our group.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, a lot of them may be homebound because of the OI, or they can't drive, or
And
so we
sometimes
have a
it's
Facebook page for that.
yeah, which is awesome. And I like and another thing that we also have that I think we all kind of use is we all kind of use social media to kind of talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part is if you know you have someone that understands you, you're in a much better spot.
Yeah, and Haley is a dwarf from her type, or a little person, or dwarf. They're both okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we belong to a group in New England for that. And because
Of
of her
injuries.
surgeries and injuries and um, we haven't been able to be part of that, which is really sad because we really miss that. And
And it's also like a great,
yeah, I mean, we met great friends through that.
but it's also a great escape from like everything, because
Yeah.
there's they have the parent meetings, and then they have the kids room, and then they have the teen meeting, and then they started a new thing, which is called the young adult meeting. Basically, it's like all the teens that have like aged out of the teen group now started a young adult group that we all can just kind of go in there, and we can talk about what's wrong without like getting judged on like, oh,
exactly, because they're going through the same thing themselves.
Exactly. And when I was a whole lot younger, there was this thing called the sibling meeting. Which basically all the siblings can go in there.
Because sometimes the siblings
get kind of forgotten.
It's hard. I mean, the attention is put on
the child with the disability.
And it's really hard to
You
juggle.
just happen to get lucky and get all three with disabilities.
Right, but I also did individual days with you guys where I made sure that I took Jess Savino and we had, me and her time, or me and James time, or me and you, so that you so you weren't
feeling like one was over
better
than the other.
You're right, exactly.
And the same thing with my Nana and stuff. She would do those things too. She would do like girls' day where James would stay at home, and like us girls would just go out to like lunch or something.
Yeah.
Or she would do like a grandson day where just James got to spend time with her.
Exactly.
So we never made it. My mom never made it. Well, Haley's more severe, so she gets all the love and attention. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know I was a little person until I was 5, because that's when we joined Little People of America. Because my parents never treated
them differently.
We got the same punishments, the same things. We got, all right, so if we got the same everything, there was never oh, well, she's more severe, so she must not be punished. But at the same time, my parents also made it okay to like go and talk to them about anything. And I can still say my mom and my dad are like my best friends because they're always there for me, even when they get on my nerves.
And vice versa.
Exactly. But I think another thing, Mom, what would you say the hardest thing is?
For what?
For you having OY and then having kids with OY.
Well, I have my days where it's really hard for me to move. I have a walker now, and so sometimes it's hard.
And I still have my wheelchair.
And sometimes we have surgeries at the same time, or we're broken at the same time. So that's why we have personal care attendants.
Yeah,
that help us out.
We have Brooke, and the thing that people don't understand, like when it comes to a PCA, they're not always there.
No,
they leave at the end of the day.
Misconception that they're here and they totally clean in my house all day. Mm-hmm. And no, that's not how it works.
And that they, that they kind of make decisions for us. No. A thing is, yes, we need help with a lot of things.
Yeah, when I'm broken, I may need help to wash the dishes. Haley can't reach things, so.
I can't even wash the dishes without hurting.
All right,
so that's why we have a PCA.
So on those days, because we're personal care assistant, that's what people don't understand. Yeah. They assist us with things that we have difficulty doing.
Yeah, like sometimes putting together.
People don't think
Yeah, like making food I need help with.
If she's broken.
If I'm broken.
But when she's broken, she's okay to do that. But, she needs help in the shower, doing things in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and getting dressed.
So those are the things a PCA can do. Help you,
And driving, because I don't drive.
I can't drive long distances. In the hospital, depending on traffic, can be 2 to 3 hours away. So I
And
need
especially when it's
help driving to get to the hospital.
And I think another thing that people don't understand, like when you're injured, I think here's one of the biggest misconceptions. I actually said it. Misconception that people don't get is we're not trying to say like, no, we don't want to come to your party. We have
we're missing on a lot of social events, and I have lost friends because of that.
Yeah,
because they
Same
don't
thing.
understand. It's not that I don't want to come to their wedding. I don't want to come to their party. Sometimes a break, sometimes a bad pain day.
Or sometimes you have a kid.
One of my kids are broken. And, I had a friend that was mad at me. I couldn't get to their wedding when Haley was on a broadcast. There's not much I can do about that.
Okay, so basically how a body cast works is you have
it's called a spica.
Yeah. Basically it stops here. You have a hole for your stomach to expand while you eat. You have a hole to like go to the bathroom. And then whatever leg is injured, it goes down. Alright guys. So I'm gonna explain the cover and then we're gonna end this live stream. So this week's cover is California King Bed, Rihanna. So that is this week's cover. And then next week's cover is Mariah Carey's We Belong Together. So I'm actually going to end this live stream, guys. I'm sorry it was not right at 10 o'clock. Some odd reason, it just kept cutting out or we would lose connection. So I'm so sorry, guys. But I love you all so, so, so very much. And go check out the video that I said, My Condition. It does explain a little bit more than we did. Another thing is we kind of try to do stuff that we can and on stuff like this. And every May 6th, please wear yellow for National Wishbone Day. I love you guys so, so very much. Spread love and positivity around the world. And I will see you guys on Friday for the video. It comes out at 8 a.m. Friday morning. And then next Wednesday, there will be another live stream. I love you guys so, so, so very much. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.